Oh, it's already recording. Hi! Hi everyone, it's Rachel, and today I'm bringing you guys another video. Today I'm talking about how to impress casting directors. All casting directors are different and they act different ways, but today I'm just going to be giving you some of my general tips on how to impress a casting director and how to show them the best side of you when you're auditioning. So let's go. Number 1. Be prepared. Being prepared is one of the most important things when getting ready for an audition. If you're prepared and you're ready, you're going to be most confident when you go into the audition room. Bring your headshot and resume. Make sure you have a printed out headshot and also a printed out resume to take to the audition. You don't want to wait until like half an hour before your audition time and freak out. I don't have a headshot and resume printed out. And then you'll just beat yourself up about it. Plus, a headshot and resume is very, very important for the audition process. It lets the casting director know what kind of other acting stuff you've done. Also, your contact info and your stats and all that. And your headshot shows what you look like, which is very important when they're casting a role. So make sure you got a headshot and a resume. Also, I'm gonna go more into detail about this later, but it goes with the whole being prepared thing, so I'm gonna add it quickly into this. If you get the script ahead of time, make sure you practice it and memorize it to the best of your ability. If you're not prepared with your script, then it will show that you're not really serious about that project and serious about knowing your lines before you go to the audition. Also, be prepared for a cold read if you don't get a script ahead of time. A cold read means that they give you the script right then and there at the audition, and you do your best to read it based on the character. So to prepare for a cold reading, maybe just practice reading scripts for the first time and being confident with them, and don't get nervous. For a cold reading, casting directors do not expect you to be perfect, and there's no way that you could because you just got the script right then and there. And the last prepared point, be prepared to talk. Obviously, you're going in for an audition, so you're going to be talking. But what I mean by this is they're going to be asking you lots of questions probably. And don't get nervous about this either. But yeah, they might ask you some random questions. Just be confident. Tell the truth, and that's that. 2. Be on time. Try to get to the audition 10 to 15 minutes early. That way you have time to get settled, and that way if they have an earlier slot, then you are there to go in and you are ready. If you're late, they either might not let you in because someone else already took your time slot, or they'll be a little annoyed because they had to wait for you to come, which is not good. And plus, it might right away make them have a bad impression of you because they might think since you didn't show up to the audition on time, then you might be late to set. And we don't want that to happen. So make sure you're on time and ready for your time slot when they call you in. Also, quick little point. Make sure you're being respectful and professional in the waiting room. You never know who might be sitting in there. They might know the casting director personally, or they're part of the crew and you didn't even know it. And so if you're like sitting and like talking on your phone really loud, or just being disruptive or something, you don't want somebody passing that message on to the casting director. Alright, next we are moving on to when you actually get called in for the audition. Yay! So this is number 3. Be yourself and be professional. When you walk into the room, have a positive attitude. Have a smile on your face. Make it clear that you're happy to be there. Be professional. One of the first things you should do when walking into the audition room is to shake the casting director's hand. Make sure you're making eye contact with them also, and say something like, "Thank you for calling me in for this audition. I'm happy to be considered for this role." Again, this shows that you want to be there and you're grateful for the opportunity to audition for them. And hand them your headshot and resume. This is not usually how it is at auditions, but if for some reason they say that they don't need your headshot and resume, don't whine about it or say why or whatever. It may just be a rule where they don't need to know what's on your resume or see your headshot, or they can see it through your agency or whatever. So don't freak out. Next, they will probably ask you a lot of questions. Probably some acting related questions, like what's the last gig you did, if you study with an acting coach, if you like your agency. Also probably some personal questions, like for kids and such, where do you go to school if you're in college? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do in your free time? That sort of thing. So just be prepared for random questions and answer them truthfully and honestly and confidently. Be yourself so they know what kind of person you are. I know this is kind of an obvious, but don't get too much into stories and whatnot. If for some reason they ask you like, oh, what did you do today? I've had that happen before. Don't go on with this huge story like, oh, me and my friend went to the lake and we saw this turtle and its shell was all green and brown and it was so cute and it had the cutest little face. Oh, and then we took it to the pet store and then we saw this person adopt it and the little girl was so happy. Yeah, I know that was really annoying and that's not how you're going to sound, but you know what I mean. While they do want to get to know you, they don't want to know the details about your turtle. So just stay to the point. 4. Now it's time for the actual audition. Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun. That was really ugly. So this is when they will ask you to read your script or your monologue or do a cold reading or do improv, or whatever they want you to do for the audition. So first of all, don't be afraid to ask questions. If you have a question about the character or the script or whatever, just ask it. It shows that you're doing all you can to embody that character and know the most about them. The worst they can say is just try to do it on your own, because they want to see how you interpret it by yourself. Also, if they're filming the audition, they are probably going to ask you to slate. Basically, when you slate, you would look right in the camera and say your name and what agency you're with. Also, if you're under 18, I think you're supposed to say your age too. At least that's what I was taught by my agency for when I slate. The reason they make you slate is because it makes it easier when they are looking at the auditions to tell which resume matches up with which person. So then you'll probably do your script or your monologue. I know this is probably pretty obvious and I might be dumb for even saying this, but a script is between 2 or more people and a monologue means it's by yourself. Just throwing that out there. I forgot to say at the beginning, also have a monologue prepared just in case. Some casting directors, when you get into the audition room, just kind of expect you to have a monologue prepared even if they didn't tell you to. So you can find one off the internet or get a monologue book off of Amazon or eBay or something like that. Just for quick reference, if you're looking to buy a monologue book, I have these 2 to recommend to you guys. Honestly, the monologues that I have used for auditions and stuff have been from my acting coaches from like workshops and whatnot when they've given me monologues. But these ones are cool too, so I will recommend them to you guys. This one is called Sugar and Spiced, 100 Monologues for Girls by Mary Deppner. And this one says Hollywood 101, Magnificent Monologues for Teens by Chambers Stevens. If I remember, I will leave the links to these books in the description box below. I'm pretty sure I purchased them on Amazon and they were very cheap. So just thought I'd throw that out there quickly while we were on the topic. But back to the audition. So after you read your script or monologue or whatever for them, and as you're preparing for the audition, before you go, make sure you don't set the lines and set your emotion and everything to stone. Make sure that you are flexible for improvement, because most likely after you read the script or monologue once, they'll probably give you some notes and some feedback and have you do it again. And if they want you to change the way that you say a certain line or the way that you move or whatever it is, make sure you don't memorize it too much, if that makes sense, because then you won't be able to do it again because you memorized it that way. You'll like forget the lines or you'll freak out or whatever. Maybe I'll have to do a separate video about that, but I hope you guys know what I'm saying. Know the lines, but don't take it too far to the point where you can't change something if they want you to. Hope you guys know what I'm saying. So now 5. Making the final impressions. This can be crucial, especially if they like your actual audition, because it shows that you can transform back into yourself from the character that you were just reading and be that happy to be their person again. But after you've done the audition and they say thank you, you can go. As you're leaving, make sure you say thank you again to show that you're thankful for their consideration. Also, something that my acting coach says is also very impressive when somebody shakes his hand again and says good luck on your project or good luck with the rest of your auditions. So that shows that you're respectful and you care about the project. Leave with confidence and say good luck to others waiting in the waiting room, even though they might be your competition. Once again, it's being respectful and professional. And final, number 6. After after the audition. I know you might be really pumped because you're like, oh yeah, girl, I totally own that audition, like I know I'm gonna book it, but just wait for that call. After a couple days, if they didn't call you, don't call and be like, oh my gosh, are you still gonna call me about this project? Like, I really hope I get it, please let me know. That is totally like a turn off for them, because you never know, maybe they held another set of auditions, or they're taking care of other stuff, or whatever it is. You might be in consideration still. Don't freak out. You don't want to ruin your chance at getting the role just because you seem too eager or impatient to hear the audition results. And don't have a bad attitude if you don't book the role in the end. There's always next time. Turn that frown upside down. Yay! So that is this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or if it was helpful. That would be awesome. Also leave a comment down below telling me video requests. I still need video requests for you guys. I'm gonna keep making videos that I think you guys want to see, but I do want to know what you personally want. So let me know down below. And also subscribe if you want to see these kinds of videos. I make acting related videos like this one every week, so it would be awesome if you would subscribe by clicking the little red button down below. That way you get notified when I post my next video. So thanks so much for watching. Motorcycle, why you gotta be so loud? And I will see you next week in my next video. Bye!